Let go of fear, you're holding the fire smoldering. It's starting all over again. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know what I'm in for. A white knuckle ride. You got a fix for me, you know what I need. Oh, it's a breakneck speed. Might as well enjoy the ride. The air around exploding. It won't slow me down. A sailing soul. Whoa, whoa. Hands all that weight you run up. Crashing thunder. Lift it up to the wind. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know what I'm in for. A white knuckle ride. You got a fix for me, you know what I need. Oh, it's a breakneck speed. Might as well enjoy the ride.
Live from Pocono Raceway. As I turn my microphone down, I accidentally changed the wrong levels. We are ready tonight. Tuesday night racing in the TI ARCA Series, presented by nobody. As we are at Pocono, the tricky triangle, 2.5 miles, 78 degrees, 55% humidity, partly cloudy skies. And that 60 is actually supposed to say 60 laps of racing coming up here tonight, of course, with the percentages and all that good stuff. We're going to see multiple pit stops and so much more. Point standings, I don't know. Unfortunately, they're not up to date. Slackers of admins of Lewis and myself. But we know Abel's leading the points because he had a pretty big lead going into Richmond, or going into Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago. But we'll get those up to date and let you know here in the future. But right now, we're going to get ready to go racing for 60 laps, as I mentioned here at Pocono. A very tricky track, and one that is going to be a good little test here, I think, for these cars because of the triangle, plus the added horsepower and so much more. As we look at the starting lineup up here on the screen, it is Tim Averill on the pole alongside Zach Mertez, Alex Bryson, Brett Rolls there in row number 2, row 3, Stephen Miles, Dalton Wilson, Aaron Beaver, Craig Martin, Landon Durhold, and Eric Tupper going to be there in the 5th row. Ryan Steinhoff and Ryan Whitaker in row 6. Row number 7, that is where I stall for a second and click here. Chris Lewis and Randy Cornwell. Stephen Melnick, David Fight in row 8. Row 9, Doug Bilhars, Dallas Childers, Dominic Russo, Clement Downing, Ronald Pies, Demarius Higginbottom, Michael Eckert, and AJ Vasseur in row number 12. 24 cars, as I mentioned, about to go 60 laps around this 2.5 mile triangle. Appreciate it by joining us here this evening. Sorry we were not here last week. Had some work issues. I was not going to let that happen tonight, even though I am running a little behind. But we're ready to rock and roll as Abel and Mertz bring them to the green flag at the tricky triangle. It's round 7 of TI's ARCA Series. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums. They are at TrackCams22.com. Down the back straightaway for the first time. Speeds of close to 190 mile an hour. As everybody goes sideways. Mertes with a great run off, too. He has been flirting with getting that victory each and every week in this series. And now looks underneath April. April squeezing him just a little bit. As the 38 of Bryson comes up there, and Miles also with him, the front four. And this is where we're going to see speeds of up to 200 miles an hour down to turn one. And Vasseur did not make the start, so unfortunately he will start behind the wall at least. As Bryson looks underneath Mertes. Been a very busy schedule for Lewis. He recently became a manager at his job, and it's been busy for him. One thing I can share is that starting next season, we will be moving our points online. As we go into a mixture of a truck series and a ARCA Series season like the way it used to be. Go back here. Is one car out of line. Ryan Whitaker was looking. Oh, and Landon Durholds in the wall. And spinning across the track. And hard into Randy Cornwell and hard over the inside wall. And the caution comes out. And unfortunately for the guy who created the whole "oh no" line that is part of the Pocono word tonight, he is the first caution tonight. Landon Durhold. Let's see what happens on the front straightaway here. Obviously the action's already happening, and Cornwell comes in there and just clobbers him. Oh, Beaver got into the wall, got out of shape, and got into the 94 who was trying to correct it when spinning across, in Cornwell. Nowhere to go. I mean, he literally knocked Durhold over the wall. Let's go on board with Landon. That's a lick right there, unfortunately for Cornwell, too. He's taking his car behind the wall, so is Eckhart, and so is Durhold. I didn't see Michael involved. Well, he's on pit road either way. He's actually leaving the pit, so Michael's not out, but the other three with heavy damage here early in this race. So the one thing we should mention, 40% fuel in these cars, so they're not going to be able to go long on fuel. It's going to create multiple pit stops during this race. But I want to bring a driver up here and have a quick chat. And I want to bring this guy right here, Ryan Whitaker. As cars come to pit road here, we'll let him pit and we'll talk to him here in a second. You do your thing.
You're fine. Talk to me.
Are you sure? So,
Talk to me.
Ryan, a birdie told me something today just a little bit ago.
What'd the birdie say?
Sorry, I had to get a drink chug points there. A birdie told me that you got a special present coming here this month or next month.
I do. About 4 weeks away from little Whitaker joining us, and we're all excited about that, and we're going to try to dedicate tonight's victory to him.
I like the way that sounds. So the question mainly I have right here is which, I assume it's your wife, which
Yes.
woman, though, in this case, was smart enough to spend 5 minutes in the same room as you?
Well, you know.
Let alone with no clothing on.
Yeah, it happens.
It does, doesn't it? Spontaneous. Well, in all seriousness, congratulations. Awesome to hear. He's already got a better I rating than I do. And no, all the best in the procedure. It'll be an experience of a lifetime. It'll go fast, and of course at this time people join chat as I say that. That was great. No, and enjoy it. It's gonna fly by, and enjoy every moment of it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Good luck in the booth.
Yeah, well, we'll try. Ryan Whitaker, Big Papa. I am assuming he likes it when they call him that. So, but we'll move him down to his booth as he'll get ready to restart here in a second in the Rhino Blasters channel. So, yeah, Whitaker gonna be a daddy for the first time here in a couple weeks. Congratulations to he and Mrs. Whitaker. All right, should get one to go this time. I'm surprised it's not a quickie yellow here. The way the cautions here at Pocono go. So everybody but Stephen Miles came to pit road, topped off the fuel. I think Whitaker might have actually taken tires. A 12-second stop there. Not exactly sure. But 2 races on the schedule left. Last week, Watkins Glen, I wasn't able to be here for that with work. So I wasn't able to broadcast that one. But here tonight, and hopefully we'll be here for the championship finale next week, which, I mean, unless something has drastically changed after Watkins Glen, is going to be a Tim Abril championship. And, of course, that race next week will be at, just taking a look here really quickly, schedule, there it is, Charlotte, under the lights next week. So, should be a fun race to be a part of. Team standings wise, TI leads by 48 over Acid Walls. That was, again, these points are as of the Richmond race. As I mentioned, Lewis has been pretty busy with points and stuff, so I might need to help him out with that. Chris is one of those, he likes to do things hands-on. So the fact that I was able to reach out to him this week and say, dude, we need to like move the points to Sim Racer Hub, start next season, and him to say, I agree, takes a lot. That was a win in itself when he said, I agree. All right, pace car going to pull off as Miles tries to save some fuel here, so we'll have to see what his strategy is about. As Zach Mertes breaks up the Bugs Bunny parade. First, third, and fourth right now for the TI cars. Brett Rolls there at fifth. Craig Martin in sixth. As we go back green. Abril trying to jump up the middle here on that 02 car. And topside, Bryson. They're trying to flank the man. Now, turn one, very tricky here. 15 degrees of banking. There is a bump as Miles gets close to Mertes there. There's a bump in the middle of the corner that will send your car all over the place. As Mertes is going to go by for the lead. So go down to turn 2, the tunnel turn, shaped like Indianapolis. 9 degrees of banking. There's a bump there at the apex. That could be tricky. As they work their way down to turn 3, which is shaped like the Milwaukee Mile. There is no bump here. But it's a very wide corner, and you can use multiple groups as the caution comes out again. Caution out for a second time. I'm looking for it. Dallas Childers down here on the apron. And I see damage on the 10. That thing looks destroyed. Oh, good grief. Casey, that was a bad joke. And I think Michael Eckert might have got some damage from this. Oh, no! Oh, this started way back in 3rd grade, as the lyrics say to the George Strait song. All right, so turn 2. You see David Fite goes up the track there, and him and Dallas both get loose. And then he comes back up the track into 3, and they just come together, and then they return the favor to each other. The worst part about this is me and Chris have to go back and look at this wreck. One of those deals, you see Dallas gets loose, and he's trying to keep his car way low off the fight, but then comes back up the track, and the three's there. And then, unfortunately, they come back together. Second caution out. Let's see what happens here. Everybody's coming back to top off, probably. Except for Abril, he's going to stay out. Bryson stays out. Miles comes to pit road this time. Dalton Wilson stays out. Nobody should be taking tires here. Still got 50 laps to go. Only 2 sets to, or maybe it's 3 sets to work with now. They're not the best of starts here, unfortunately. And of course, this track, 2.5 miles. It was built back in the early 70s. It was originally built to be an IndyCar track. For USAC to race, and then NASCAR showed up, and they haven't left. And then IndyCar showed up for a little bit again in the 2000 teens, and unfortunately haven't been back since the Justin Wilson passing. But on iRacing, it's one of many people's favorite tracks to run an open wheel car on. Russo and Whitaker coming back to pit road. Have they come back after that? I was trying to remember. It was 2015, right? Was the passing, I believe? Or was... I remember the year Montoya won. That was pretty much a caution-free race, if I remember correctly. I think it was the fastest 500-mile race ran or something like that in history. I have to look it up. But anyways, IndyCar came here, raced for a few years. Oh, yes, okay, the Wickens wreck. Yes, okay. Yep, you're right. That was the year, if I remember correctly, didn't Hinchcliffe wreck on lap 1 and then wow. Robert Wickens wrecked like a couple laps later with the Ryan Hunter radial. I honestly think this track needs to be on that schedule, on the IndyCar schedule. I mean, I do agree with Roger Penske when he says they need more ovals. I mean, there's plenty of great ovals out there to run. All right, so first place, Bugs Bunny. Second place, Bugs Bunny. Third place, Bugs Bunny. Fourth place, Chris Lewis. As we come to the green, how about the Hawaiian Tropic, number 1 of Melnick? I like that. Three wide back there. Well, Craig Martin in the middle of a sandwich. Steinhoff there on the inside as Brett Rolls and Eric Tupper Teammates there on the outside as everybody kind of scatters. You see Miles and them started about mid-pack right there in the 24. Up the track goes the Asheville rooftop car. Who's that out of shape? Oh, and Craig Martin gets hit a little bit by Rolls as Bill Hars goes trying to catch her up turn 2. Everybody okay as they dive it off into turn 3 and 4. The 51 of Whitaker. And I'm trying to see who that car is next to. Oh, Ronald Piles. That 68 looked like a 66. I'm like, wait a minute here. Oh, Bill Har's up into the wall there. Had to get himself unstuck. Demarius Higginbottom running there in that net zero Pontiac into turn 2. And it's all about these guys going. Bill Hars hits the wall a 15th time. As these guys got to get into a rhythm basically right now. If they can do that, this race can. Well, there's a caution. Unfortunately, Steinhoff gets turned with Brett Rolls into 3. And third caution comes out. Looked like for a second Steinhoff might have drove it in too deep and got up into the 17, but let's see again here. Carolina Salt, number 74, Carolina Surf and Supply. Watch him into the corner here. Brett gets out of it and I have to get a better angle of this. I mean, it looks like that from that angle, it almost looked like Brett came down, but I don't know if that's totally what. Let me go to the blimp and see if I can get ourselves a better view here of what took place here in the turn 3. Oh, you can see Ryan drift up there, actually. So he just got in there too deep, and the car pushed up and unfortunately got hooked. And leaders come to pit road again. All right, back we are as we get ready to get the green flag here, 1/4 distance in to race number 7. Dominic Russo staying out this time. And he will lead him to the green flag as we try to get ourselves into a rhythm here after the third caution. And now Dominic blinking out as he leads him to the green. That's not the best scenario. And he literally is blinking out as we go green. And he's going to pull down and out of the way as Martez almost gets into the back of Abril. Dominic enters very shallow. Does a good job giving plenty of room as the cars go by in the outside lane. And he's still blinking like a Christmas tree, unfortunately. As Whitaker looking underneath Tupper there as Abril tries to put some distance on Mertes, but with that draft, very hard to do. As Whitaker drives it to the bottom, 3 wide here. Going to be a tough move to make. And Lewis gets hit by Russo, and they're still 3 wide. Great save by Lewis. Up front, Bryson was able to get by Mertes, and now Zach with the crossover to 2, down to 3. Saw Bryson going Bob Ross there on that bottom line. As they drag race down the front straightaway. Lewis back here with a fight. Higginbottom. The blinking Dominic Russo. The one of Melnick is here. Craig Martin. As I think Whitaker might have kissed the wall off turn 1. If not, I don't know what he's doing. That thing is screaming down to turn 1. Remember back in the day, these cars used to shift actually, and whoa. Lewis getting a little loose there back with the Jericho transmissions, but obviously that had changed as they went into the later years, but then it changed back. So 17 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Whitaker's actually fallen to the back here, and I'm not sure, did he actually get the wall, or did something... He's got something wrong here. See if I could find... He actually went off track for... Oh, he went to the apron, so something has gone awry on the Whitaker car. As his teammate Durhold comes back on track, so I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like he's back up to speed. Craig Martin, Ronald Piles, battle for the 10th position right here. So 1/3 distance here. As I mentioned, everybody but Russo came to pit road. So 13 here with the 40% fuel. Usually these cars, you can go about 30 laps. If I remember correctly, with 18.7, maybe a little less now with the 1,000 or 900 horsepower in these things. So let's just go with the 30 number. 15 would be 50, so 40 is probably somewhere to 12 lap range. So they should be able to get right to lap 25, 26 or so with the yellow they've had. Maybe 27. So I'm seeing at least another stop or two in this race potentially. Elnick drifts up the track in the one car. As Abril continues to lead, stretching out to 0.7 of a second. And caution back out for the 4th time. And, oh no, it's for Whitaker. Ryan Whitaker, unfortunately, having issues, so I don't know what has gone wrong with his car, but it really went wrong. Kind of looks like his screen went black. I mean, he's turning. Everything's good here. And then, yeah, the car goes straight right there. Yeah, he must have some kind of computer issue or something. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping he'd win for the little one. But caution out for the 4th time. And I think they're going to see you guys back to pit road here. I think you could see some tires getting put on here. Let's see. I'm seeing some fuel only, and here comes some tires. Yep, mostly tires for these guys. As race off pit road. Won by Tim Abril. All right, so I'm looking down here. Yeah, Whitaker's not on chat, so I wonder if his computer had some issues or something. As I just peek down to see what's going on there. Landon Durhol's going to take a wave around as he's just out here, unfortunately, logging laps. He's going to gain some positions. He's actually going to work his way up to 16th or 17th here by the end of this. And now Dominic Russo coming back to pit road. He's going to take tires. I think here he realized, uh-oh, everybody took tires here. And there's no crying, Ryan. Sorry to hear it, man. Sorry to see what happened. It looked like, did you just overdrive it and push up, Ryan? That's what it looked like on the stream. This is an opportunity for Ryan's people on his stream to come over to this stream and watch. So hello, Ryan's people, if you're watching. And for those, check out Ryan Steinhoff on Twitch. I think it's Twitch, right? All right, so everybody on tires here. First set been used by pretty much everybody. As we'll come back to green with 35 laps to go. At least 2 more stops to get to the end of this race. Will he be under green? Will he be under caution? As we go back racing. Good restart for Mertes on the top side. Thank you, Mama. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, FedEx delivery can get in the way sometimes when you're a swing driver like I am. You just never know what you're going to be doing that day and how much you're going to be delivering. And oh, Mertes got loose into the wall. He hit that thing a ton. That's fair. Martz is still holding on to 4th. And this car is very durable, so to say. As you see everybody and y'all just hanging out that right rear, getting that spoiler in the air a little bit. I think you can kind of see him crabbing a little bit down the straightaway. Well, thank you. I try to be here as much as I can, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 nights a week that I do the broadcasting part. Oh, here comes Miles. Oh, it is YouTube. Thank you, Ryan. I was trying to remember if it was Twitch or YouTube. Forgive me. Miles, last couple of weeks, has felt that his championship hopes are gone this season. So the one thing he feels like he really can go out here and do is just help the team out, but 2, put himself in victory lane and win some more races. Car's doing a good job over the bumps there. Bryson's like, man, I might want to be a part of this. We go get a 3-wide Bugs Bunny battle here. Oh, he almost got into him. As these guys battle it out, check out Ronald Piles, the 10th place car here, looking to get around Lewis. There's a move. Late move to the inside. Oh, clipped the apron there a little bit. Lewis did a good job to adjust off him. Obviously, Mertez not a lot of damage on that 0-2 as he holds on to the third position. For the most part, everybody's spread out until you, except this battle right here. Tim got a good entry into the corner. Miles tried to rotate to center. See if he can get the run off. Down to the tunnel turn. Mertz has clipped the apron there with his left front, got a little loose. They brought a real good tunnel there. Down to turn 3. Mertez did a good job getting that left front down on that line. It is the preferred area to get around this track. One of the adjustments I would have to say that this car needs when it comes to the Gen 4 is, I think, the gearing, just a slight change. Even if it's just one ratio difference. I feel like that the revs on the engine are just a little too high. And maybe that's because I'm so used to the sound of the next gen and even the Gen 6 with the lower horsepower. I'm just not used to the high RPM screaming anymore. But I'm used to this car running somewhere 94, 9500. Let's actually throw up here the dashboard. Let's see, I can't get the RPMs here. Well, let's go on board here for a second. I mean, he's up there near 9600, I would say. 96, 9700 in the turn 1. Bryson taking a look on Mertz for third. Dalton Wilson right there behind him. Piles still back here trying to get around Lewis for 9th. Oh, I bet. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a couple, most tracks, it just sounds like just getting off the corner, they're just screaming. And it's like, I don't know about that. I mean, you get some of these, and obviously, let's face it too, this car came out with just one little change because everybody freaked out when they made the accidental Gen 4 release, if you will, as Bryson gets by for third. So I'm sure when we get to... When they get to this week 13 here in a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a huge edit to this car probably. Well, in fairness case, they probably swapped gears around and stuff and literally just saved a setup. As up here up front, Miles goes to the lead. As Bryson's going to trickle with him. Abel back to third. As some very ominous clouds start to come in. Is Chris Buescher in this race? Do we have fog? Sunny over here in turn 2, and then you get over to the front straightaway into turn 1. Now, if you ever need a trivia question, by the way, it's a good one. This is actually the track, and it's kind of a sad story in the end. This is actually the track that brought into play the lightning delay when it comes to racing. Of course, even when I was younger, I remember actually tried to run cross country once when I was in like 10th grade or 9th grade. I don't remember. But basically most sports in high school and stuff had a situation where if you had lightning within 8 miles, you would stop that sport or stop that game and delay it or whatever. Well, then a situation happened here at Pocono one year where a storm come in after the race. And unfortunately, 2 people were struck by lightning, and I think 1 passed away from it. And ever since that day, NASCAR has adopted that warning. So now when lightning strikes within 8 miles, they keep the cars off the track. They put everybody under cover, so on and so forth. Bryson's got that car yawed out. It's because of what they call yaw. If you look at the cars crabbing down the straightaway right now, they do that because the more air that hits that right rear corner, it creates more side force and downforce on the car. So what's going on is, and you can even see this in the B car, what they try to do is they try to yaw the car out, is what it's called. So the left front is going to look like, and I need a camera that can like show the side of the car in the corner. You'll see the left front touching the yellow line, but the rest of the car is literally off it. Oh, Miles just clobbered the outside wall. That's a rare mistake from him. Elmer Fudd is not a happy camper on the right side of that car. That's not a good one. I'm trying to get you. Here we go. Look at this. So look how his left front is lower, so to say. Yeah, it's all in the rear end housing and stuff. It's basically to keep the left side of the spoiler out of the air and to get air onto the right rear, basically, is how that's set up. So you watch, they get down here. The left front sits on that line. Look where the left rear is. It's like an inch off. He needs Lola on his car. That'll stop bugs real quick, because here we go with pit stops. Lap 37, we saw Bill Haas, Childers, Brett Rolls on pit road just now, and now a lot of the cars on pit road. And issues for Higginbotham. He has gone off track. And issues getting at pit road. And the Haas paint scheme, unfortunately, back when it was Haas CNC Racing, goes off track. Left foot. Ooh, almost some contact there with Abril as Miles wins the race on pit road. Green flag pit stops in a caution style. So 22 laps to go as these cars come off pit road. I'm curious to see if these they go 11 and split in half here. Oh, Mertz is loose. Yeah, 99.9% of drivers left foot brake, including myself. As here comes Lewis, here comes David Fike to pit road. Oh, Lewis overshot his car corner a little bit. Which one of the things about Pocono pit road that people don't realize, it is not a smooth pit road. You see the hills. You go up, down a lot here at this track. Especially over on pit road there. And of course, you got all the manhole covers where those cones are. Don't want to hit those things. As Melnick leads right now, lap 39. Melnick in the Hawaiian Tropic #1. Not sure what Hawkeye is, but that's pretty cool. I do like that paint scheme. Pretty spiffy, whoever painted that. And he will bring the car to pit road, and that'll hand the lead back to Miles here. Yeah, I think any car, your left foot, I mean, unless you're like Casey mentioned, you know, Bobby Labonte or maybe some other drivers that, you know, I'm trying to think. The only situation back in the heyday where you would not left foot brake, and even then, you might hear Dale Jr. reference this in a road race. He'll mention the term heel toe. So if you're sitting on your computer right now, I assume that you got your pedals down by your feet. So picture yourself, or put yourself right now as your right foot is on your gas pedal, your left foot's on the brake, right? So heel toe basically is you use your heel to brake, and your toe is actually over on the clutch pedal, because back in the day you had to use your clutch to shift, and also at the same time when you were blipping, downshifting, all that different stuff, you had to be able to use your toe to be able to do that as you're pushing the throttle with your right foot, but you had to use the brake at the same time. It was a big old trick to it that they call heel toe. As Miles is going to go past Dallas Childers to put him a lap down, unfortunately. That's too much information, Aaron. We don't need to know what you're reaching or... Never mind. Family-friendly show here, families. So Miles leads by 0.6 over Bryson. Abel's third. Mertz is fourth now, and Dalton Wilson fifth. Eric Tupper having a good run up in sixth. How about Ronald Piles? Up to seventh right now. We were talking about him and his wife having a kid. What was wrong with that? All I asked was who was smart enough to spend 5 minutes in a bedroom with Ryan Witt. That's all I said. What did I say wrong? Anybody could do anything in the bedroom. We could, you know, watch TV or change clothes, or, I mean, husband and wives do whatever. But you mind out of the gutter case. They weren't doing the Nashville naughty or anything, okay? Craig Barton back here in the triple twos trying to battle Piles. As I mentioned, Ronald up 14 positions. Started back in 21st in the back and up to 7th. Unfortunately, had some cautions there to avoid at the beginning of this race, but now he's having a pretty solid run, about 10 seconds back. Now, one thing I will say about this series, next season when we bring the trucks in, back in, I should say, this car will be going back to the ARCA car. And more of the development side of the car for these drivers. Oh, look at them all sliding around. So hopefully they're having fun, but it's more of, you know, turning this into a truck series on Wednesday nights, but then Tuesday nights being able to do the ARCA series. And of course there'll be 8 races, all the same old fun. Nothing will change, except they will pick what series they race in for the championship. All right, so Melnick had an 11-second pit stop, so I do not think he took tires here. And Hawkeye apparently is a character I've learned in a Marvel movie. And oh, by the way, you might notice down on the hood of his car, and it's on the back of his car, the 50th start apparently is tonight for Mr. First Ever Rookie of the Year in this series history. Congratulations to Mr. Melnick on his 50th start. Or his... Yeah. Half his number got cut off back there. Oh, there it is. It popped back up. What in the world? Is that rear end legal? Greg Martin getting loose as he tries to battle with Ronald. And here comes Chris Lewis up there behind him. Lewis has hawked these guys down. Not sure what caused Lewis to be farther back there. He was actually ahead of these guys for a little bit. Oh, Martin almost slides up into that dodge. He almost ate him. So when to come to pit road as Higginbotham has come to pit road. I don't know if that might be an unscheduled stop there for Demarius. We'll have to see. But I'm thinking here, next 4 laps, you're going to see these leaders come to pit road, split the run in half. If I'm back here with Dalton Wilson, Eric Tupper, Ronald Piles, I think you run this, run the tank out. See if you can get something out of it. That's my line, Mama. It's like she's watched my stream before or something. It's actually a true story. Anytime when I'm racing and I stream, you'll hear me sometime, actually every time, like somebody will leave the room and I'll be like, yep, not finishing last tonight, boys. Is usually my line. Past Bill Hars is Bryson not letting Miles go. Lewis gets by both Piles and Martin. So great job by the boss man. Looking at himself a good finish tonight. So after a rocky start, we got ourselves a real good run here, potentially to the finish. We'll see. And Steven Melnick's back on pit road. And leaving with fuel only. So I wonder if Melnick went as long as he could, took fuel, and now just ran until he's in the window so that it'd be the smallest and shortest pit stop possible on pit road. That's an interesting play. Oh, Miles back at the wall again. Dalton Wilson starting to fall into the clutches of Eric Tupper. And April's going to be the first to pit road. So April's going to be the first to play the strategy here. And I believe he's got a set of tires left. Dalton Wilson pits also. I believe everybody does have one set of tires left. You'll know by the right side lifting up. Yep, there's right side tires going on. Dalton overshoots his pit stall a little bit. Still having trouble. And he's going to take 4 tires and fuel, but lose a large amount of time there. As April pulls away. Good stop, 14.8 for him. And here comes Miles and Bryson. So the thing about this track, too, you can pit and still stay on the lead lap if you're close enough. Mertes, Tupper. And that puts Chris Lewis in the lead here. He pitted at lap 38. So he should be able to go another lap or so before he'll have to pit. Now we got to watch this race off pit road. Here's Abril. Oh, this is going to be close. And Miles is up to speed, I think. They're going to be in the clear. Miles is in the clear. Bryson's in the clear. And there's Abril. Just too much of a gap, unfortunately, for them. As Russo comes to pit road. Yeah, if I'm Lewis, I'm running this tire. I'm running the tank out. I mean, you're in a position you're not going to win, but at least at this point, a caution comes out. You've got fresh tires you can go put on this thing and get a restart close to the pack. As Russo, fuel only, fight coming to pit road, and there's your leader, Lewis. And he's coming in right here. I can see it. Got to get down to 55 miles an hour. As this will become your lead battle right here. Miles actually just running his fastest lap of the race there, 53.77. That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. All right, so Miles leading, 9 laps to go as we'll take you through the field here real quick. Bryson running in second. He's about 7/10 of a second back, running as fast as he can go to get to that 24 car. Tim Abril about 2.7 back in the third position here. Zach Mertes running in fourth, doing a great job here. Running outside pole, hanging in the top 5 in this 02 car, running in the fourth position. Eric Tupper, fantastic job. Started 10th, has worked his way up to the 5th position. Dalton Wilson, that little mistake on pit road did cost him a position or two, as he's running in 6th right now. And then Craig Martin, the 222 Eatery machine, running in the 7th position. Chris Lewis just come off pit road. He's got 4 Mr. Feelgoods there, running in the 8th position. And then Ronald Piles back here in the 9th position. He is 22 seconds back. Dominic Russo, 10th position. I'm going to real quickly click off his car before he blinks again. Stephen Melnick running in 11th right now. But all these cars should be able to go to the finish on fuel. Doug Bilhar still on track. Damaged It All running in 12th. David Feit holding on strong in the 13th position. Clement Downing, the Australian driver, or New Zealand. Not sure which country he's actually from. I don't think I've ever heard him talk. But he's in 14th right now. Dallas Childers has every single piece of his car damaged in 15th. Aaron Leave It to Beaver, unfortunately damaged from the first caution. He is 16th right now. Brett Rolls out here still digging. Potential Rookie of the Year candidate. 17 car in 17th position. Mary Higginbottom, unfortunately, off the track, but one guy that's still digging, not giving up, Ryan Steinhoff. He just actually passed by Whitaker and Landon Durhold for position. He will not be able to get to Demarius. So Ryan, outside of pride, can pretty much pull off the track right now and be okay. And then the rest of the cars are off the track. And Bryson is getting closer. Down to a half second. Down to 0.2 of a second, actually. And he's really in that draft now. Here comes that word we haven't said in a very long time because you don't really hear it anymore. Arrow push. Yeah, I think Steinhardt heard my advice. He's pulling off the track. Don't listen to me, dude. Miles moves up. Different approach into the corner there. Bryson got the air on his nose there, but you see Miles pushes up here a little bit. Might have actually worked out for him. 5 laps to go. Watching Mertes and Abrils' telemetry over there to the left on the ticker, and I see Mertes getting closer, so I wonder if we might have a battle for third coming here in a second. Oh, Miles got the apron. You saw the smoke. He got the apron and got that bump. And that really upset his car. Now Bryson is there. Shuts the door on him. No soup fuel. Oh, one car getting loose right in front of the leaders. They saved it. I think that was Dallas. The leaders stayed in it there. I was wondering if that would spook any of them. So we got this battle now, and we got this battle now. Bryson looking low for the lead. Miles should be able to carry the momentum here through the corner. Gotta defend here. Now, I believe Bryson is from this area, so this would be a home track win for that 38. The 3-time champ in this series. Oh, Miles into the wall a little bit. They're racing hard. And Mertes did get by Abril, by the way, for third. And I hope Dallas didn't have anything to do with that. All right, so now I got to ask the punctuation question here, Case. Was that going to be hard to hold him off for 7 miles or 7 miles? 2 laps to go. Oh, right there. Oh, and there was some contact. So Abril actually caught him at a decent part, but Dallas goes in shallow and causes Tim to go in even more shallower, causing him to go up the track, and then Mertes makes a little contact and slides him up. And then drives all the way down to Hershey's to complete the pass. And Tim's probably not happy about that move. More probably from Dallas than anything. Miles getting loose. Bryson got to his right rear. White flag, final lap. Are we going to do this 3 nights in a row with a last lap pass? Oh, one car just slammed the wall back there at the front stretch. It's Dallas. Continue. Bryson looks low. Miles with a block. Miles got loose. If I'm Bryson, I'm going to stay high in this corner. Try to cross him over. Bugs Bunny drag race off turn 3. Miles gets really loose, so does Bryson. And Miles will hold him off. Mertes holds off Abril for third. Oh, trust me, Bryson's trying to pass him. He wouldn't be that sideways if he wasn't. So Stephen Miles gets another win. And I might have to think, has Miles won a race this season? I'm going to have to look into that. Melnick gets himself a top 10 in his 50th start. Well, you got to remember, the rear-wheel drive in this car with all the power, Bryson could have been struggling getting off the corner too. So trust me when I tell you, Bryson was trying to pass him. I could see in like another series. I don't know what Dallas is doing, but okay. I could see in any other series like Bryson maybe doing something like that, but I would say that probably out here, Bryson's racing him. As we take a look at the finishing order from Pocono, just a simple 10th of a second, Miles over Bryson. Mertes takes advantage of the lap car to get third over Tim Abril. Eric Tupper ends up fifth. Dalton Wilson, Chris Lewis, Craig Martin ends up 6th, 7th, and 8th. Rhonda Piles 9th. And Stephen Melnick gets himself a top 10 with Dominic Russo 11th. Bill Hars finishing 12th. David Fite 13th. Clement Downing finishing 14th. Dallas Childers 15th. Aaron Beaver 16th. Brett Rolls 17th. Damaris Higginbottom finishes 18th. So we look at the rest of the field. 19th to Ryan Steinhoff, 20th to Landon Durhold, Ryan Whitaker 21st, Michael Eckert 22nd, Randy Cornwell 23rd, AJ Vasseur did not take the green flag, unfortunately, in the 24th position. All right, as we will go talk to the drivers that finished in the top 3 here. And what was a pretty entertaining race there, especially at the end. Let's get the O2 here of... Okay, we'll do case. As we get joined by Zach Mertes. Zach, third place finish, man. Definitely got a little help there, I would say. Great run, though, to take advantage of Abril there. Let's talk about that pass to get third.
Yeah, it was just interesting set of circumstances. I saw Dallas, and I was just trying to find a safe and effective way that I could have gone around him, and while trying to potentially use him to my advantage and get around Tim. I'd been catching him for the last few laps. Then just Dallas kind of held us up there going on corner entry, and I saw Tim just kind of throw it in there a little bit, so I saw my opportunity to sneak in. I got a little bit of loose, and I kind of slid up into him a little bit. That's on me. Tim, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Just hard racing, really. We had a good car that was able to contend. We led some laps and we were doing good, and just the strategy didn't really play to the advantage of what we had, and it just fell to some unfortunate circumstances. Just way too loose on the new tires and didn't really start coming in until the long run, and just trying to find really the best way possible to get back up there, but we just kept losing time the whole race.
How tough was it to pass with the in the dirty air and stuff? Because it seemed like you could get behind a car And as you mentioned, you were real loose. I saw a couple times there early in a run, but then it just seemed like if you got directly behind a car, it got really tough to pass.
Yeah, I'm sure Bryson's going to be a little mad at me for the crossover moves I kept doing through the tunnel turn. That actually was difficult because of the dirty air, but it's something I had been practicing for a while, and I knew how to do it. So the second I saw it happen, I was just able to capitalize and defend and keep hold of the position. And just other than that, trying to get up to somebody and pass them, I caught to Tim, and it took me a couple laps to get by him. Obviously, I needed a little bit of help with the lap car, so just the dirty air, it made it real tough. But ultimately, if you were able to have the pace and get the run, you were able to get it done. It's just all the matter of getting the run off the corner and being able to capitalize.
Right.
If you don't have that momentum or you lose that little bit of draft, then you're done. And pretty much see ya.
That's about right, man. No, you did a great job, and I know you kind of used up Tim there a little bit, and you know what, though? That's racing. And even with the Alex situation, it's racing, So you did your part. You had a great run tonight. I think you ran no lower than 4th all night, so nice job, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I got to send a shout out to Burning Rubber Radio, 4 Mile Productions, Butler Built Seats, the Mohawk Foundation, TI Racing, everybody that makes it happen. We got some great stuff in the works. Everything's kind of just piling up, and we're trying to see what we can do for the real life racing. Obviously, we're looking for sponsors to help with the Legend car. Had a little bit of a team switch at the start of the year for the Legend car, so just trying to look for whatever sponsors we can. We got about a month out to the summer shootout. If you want to sponsor a real life race car, you want to put any little bit of money, whether it be $5, $10, $15, $20, anything that you want to put out for just having your name, having your business on a race car, you can always reach out to me on Twitter, Murtis Racing, Facebook, Murtis Racing, Instagram, Zach_Murtis Racing. That's ZACH_MERTESRACING. You can always go to our website, www.murtisracing.com, and you can always reach out to me on my personal email at murtisracing102@gmail.com. That's MERTESRACING 102@gmail.com. Cannot stress it enough that we are looking for sponsors to help out with the season moving forward.
There you go. Help the man out. Become a sponsor for Zach. And while we do that, I'll give him some PR training on not saying WWW. It's 20 years ago, dude. Come on. Anyways, nice job. In all seriousness.
Shout out the website link, man.
That's the matter. Yeah, just get the website out. You're good. Now we'll talk. Good job, man. Zach Mertz is finishing in the 3rd position. That's something I remember once that I did. I'll keep Zach in there for the second to hear this. I did a radio show once, and I remember saying WWW or something like that. And the PD pulls me in the office, and he's like, dude, are you in 1999? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, WWW? Really? We all know it's the World Wide Web. I'm like, all right. So ever since then, I've kind of kept that in my head. So I had to pick on you about it. Good job.
Still need a little media training. We're getting there. We're still a little bit.
You too, buddy. Zach Mertz is finishing in the 3rd position. Wherever you want to go here. Everybody bailed. So you're on your own. So Zach Mertz finishes 3rd. Let's get our 2nd place finisher, Alex Bryson, the hometown guy. Yeah, I think it's HTTPS://. I think the S is in there, I don't remember. Anyways. All right, man, 2nd place finish for you. I know Zach kind of mentioned a little bit of tough racing with him. You guys were having fun with that, but the battle there for the win. I mean, what card did you not throw at Steven to try to win that race?
Honestly, everything. I mean, I threw everything that I had in my kitchen sink, and I usually do the dishes pretty well, so there's nothing left in there. But yeah, I couldn't do anything. I mean, it's funny how we're opposite, being teammates, and as much as we practice together, I'll be good at one corner and he'll be off on one corner, and then the total opposite of the track will be totally different again. So 1 and 2, I felt okay with the tunnel, or I should say turn 1. Turn 2, the tunnel turn, I'm probably 50-50 through there, but he had a better 3 than I did. I think if I could have maybe diamond 3 a little bit more, it might have helped me. But I mean, overall, I threw everything at him that I could. I mean, if this was at a different track, I would have thrown the same exact stuff at him. It's just, I've never really been a fan of this track, and unfortunately it's my home track, so But yeah, with Mertes there too, had really great race. And I hope he didn't have any, can't even think of the word, any disheartening things to say. I just thought we were racing really well. I had a blast. I mean, I'm not going to say anything negative about the kid. The kid drove his ass off there at the beginning. We were just kind of going back and forth through there. He kind of back up his corners and undercut me, and I'd undercut him. And, going into 3 there, he just checked up a little too much, and I couldn't get, on the brake pedal fast enough, and kind of got him loose there a little bit. But, had fun all in all.
No, he was actually more worried that you were mad about the whole thing.
See, that's what's funny about me and him too.
But definitely safe to say, first things first, that the kitchen sinks, that joke drained. Anyway,
oh damn,
good try though.
Thank you.
But needless to say, man, the racing, I know it had to be tough to pass out there, and obviously turn 3. Was there ever a thought? I mean, because I kind of actually said it with wanting to go coming down the tunnel. I was like, all right, he needs to try to go high here, and you didn't do it obviously, but I was like, was there ever that thought that like maybe I need to try a high approach here to maybe get the run off?
For like 0.2 seconds, and I kind of overdrove it and practiced once just to see, and I couldn't get back down there. I mean, I was just so loose. I was loose coming off 3 to begin with, but I honestly, for maybe a split second, thought about overdriving 3. But then again, I want to go back and watch this and make sure I don't look like a dummy when I overdrive 3, and trying to go for it. But it did cross my mind. Yes, it did. Well, but yeah, you definitely. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Scal, but I like me and Miles were talking. It was hard to pass low. I mean, you couldn't do it. I mean, you can't do it. So, I think we go back to this track Friday in another league that I'm in. I think you're in that league too, by the way.
I do broadcast it, and
you do broadcast that.
And not to cut you off here, but it's kind of interesting you bring this up because Casey is actually in chat watching.
Okay, hi, Casey.
Casey is curious to know the gearing in the car.
I thought the gearing in the car was great. Restarts felt good. It didn't chip out at all, which I was kind of skeptical going into practice yesterday. I was like, man, I wonder if this thing chips out towards the end. But overall, the car really felt great. It felt really good, wound out. I mean, overall, I think iRacing put a really good set out for this Pocono 2016 setup for this car.
Well, there you go. Hopefully it answers this question. So send a shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
I got to thank the Captain Esports Network for putting on these amazing freaking broadcasts. Let me tell you, the broadcaster is grade A stuff right here, people. Let me tell you, you don't find no better on YouTube, Twitch, wherever he may be. He is the GOAT. I want to thank my teammates, Chris Lewis, Dalton Wilson. Heck of a race by Dalton today.
Yeah.
He really loves this track. I got to thank Tim Abril. And of course, I got to thank my guy, Stephen Miles there. Believe it or not, those last 2 laps, I'm pretty sure we were giggling like schoolgirls driving because we were like, let's get it. And we were after each other. And, I'm very happy for his win. I want to thank my wife, my kids, especially my wife. Let me take the busy time out of our busy lives to let me do this. I got to thank my wife's grandmother. I got to thank my dad. Gotta thank the good man above, and gotta thank you again. GOAT, GOAT.
Something like that. Anyways, yeah. All right, man. Well, great job, and let's go you can go celebrate your second place finish. How's that?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely, you too, buddy. Be safe. It's Alex Bryson finishing in the second position. I think he's the only person ever to call me the GOAT. But there you go. And HTTPS is a secure Alrighty then. I don't think I actually knew that, by the way, what Aaron just shared. All right, let's bring up our winner tonight, Stephen Miles, who goes to victory lane. So at least he wins at something now. And that's it out loud. I'm so sorry. But no, great job tonight in all seriousness. And another win. Is this, I was just thinking about, is this your first one this year? Or this season?
This is my first one.
What took you so long?
Bad luck, misfortune. It's racing.
That's fair.
I'm just glad to get here today.
Just here, I don't get fined. The battle with Bryson, that was pretty wild because, what was it, about 10 laps before that, you tried to widen out the turn 2 wall, and it didn't work. But talk about the battle with Bryson.
Bryson, my boy, man, we have a lot of heated battles. I taught him a lot. He teach me, and I mean, it was hard, man. I had a good car the first half of the run, and I didn't save on that one, and he was just right behind me, and I think he could have got past me, but it's so hard to pass on that bottom, and I had a couple close calls with the wall today, but I didn't damage her too bad. She was still fast at the end, and I just appreciate Bryson for racing me clean, and I mean, that's like my brother. So I mean, I know he happy for me. I'm happy for him for his win last week, and hopefully we can keep going.
I kind of asked Alex the question. I'll ask you because I know you run on Friday nights too. But Casey was in here watching, and he wanted just a curious question on his part. How'd you feel about the gearing and stuff in the setup?
The gearing was good. It wasn't no wheel spin on the restarts like I thought it would be, and the setup. It's so hard to pass on the bottom. It's so loose off the turns, but I guess it makes great racing. But I felt a little bit like I was in a truck for a second, ride that momentum on the outside and hold them down. But I mean, it was uh it was a struggle, but I like a struggle. You know, you got to drive these cars with so much horsepower. So I can say he could fix it a little bit, but then again, we keep it like it is.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's the one thing about this track too with the build is that high line can play a role, and it's very tough to pass on that bottom. Pretty much in every vehicle you drive on this track. So, but still, great job and pulling this victory off here this afternoon. Of course, it was a little bit of a struggle there at the beginning of the race and the pit strategies and stuff. I mean, you and Tim had some good battles. Did you feel like you were better than Tim there in the long run?
I really don't know there. At the beginning, I was just really saving. I was just trying to see how the car feel. I'm getting used to a new wheel and everything. So, but when I got there to him, I felt I was stronger than him, but I wasn't gonna press it. But when he got into the wall, I just went ahead and went around him, and I distanced him. I said the closest car to me was Alex because we practiced so much together and we pick each other brain. It's crazy how he'll be bad at one turn and I'll be good at it, and it'll be so opposite at so many tracks. So we help each other. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm glad Tim was able to not mess up his car too bad and finish fourth. I thought he got third, but it was a good overall team victory today.
Well, and that's of course the product of this track too. Is at Pocono is you got to kind of compromise one corner for the other type of thing, and it worked out for you tonight. Well, shout out to whoever likes you, bud.
Captain E Network, man, Scholar, you main sponsor. I'd like to thank Chris Lewis for having me on this team, man, for so many seasons, and I feel blessed to be on here, especially how he found me. And thank my teammates Bryson, that's a brother to me. April and Wilson. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to war every Tuesday and race these guys with nobody else. So yeah, I like thank my girlfriend, God. I don't want to forget those two, and that'll be it.
There you go. Great job tonight, and go celebrate.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Stephen Miles, the winner tonight here at the Pocono Raceway. So a pretty fun race that was. A couple cautions in the end, but got that long green flag run in the second half, and had a pretty fun finish there in the end. So congratulations to Miles and to Bryson, to Mertez, top three finishers, and of course everybody else that ran tonight on a fantastic race. And of course next week, the finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Will we crown a champion? Well, obviously we will, but will it be Tim Abril? We'll have to see when the points get updated here shortly and go from there. So should be a lot of fun. Big shout out to Lewis for allowing us to broadcast. Of course, this was the original league I broadcasted when we got back on the iRacing 3 years ago and got the Captain Esports Network going. It was this league that was the first one I took care of, and here we are back at it again for another season. So definitely a lot of fun there. So appreciate all the viewers watching tonight. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the chat, and always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!